Welcome to the Comic Book Club. Today was Alan's pick. He chose Pep Comic 17, and we'll get him to show the cover if you want, real quick.
Yeah, yeah, sure. This is the book. Mine's faded looking, but you get the idea. It's Pep Comics 17. Got the Hangman, the first appearance of the Hangman.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to spell it out.
Maybe we'll come back to it when you get to your grading or however you want to handle it. But for now, we're going to add this big screen for Alan.
Okay. So Pep 17, as I said, it's the first appearance of the Hangman. Also, it is a major first as well because it's the first time a hero dies in comics. But we'll get into the story and you'll learn all about it. Okay, so
I'm excited.
One sec. We're only gonna read the Hangman story, so I'm gonna skip past some other stories. Sorry.
You mean we're not going to cover the Fireball story with the interesting language?
No. No. We're gonna focus on Hangman tonight. Okay, so this is the Hangman story. So it starts out. The Hangman isn't a hero yet. It starts out with the Comet. Now the Comet is a superhero that is a bit. He's not liked by the police, actually, and probably one of the reasons why he's not liked by the police is whenever he apprehends some criminal, he always comes smashing through their window. I don't really get why he does that, but that's what he does. He delivers the criminal, and then afterwards, the police shoot at him because he's he's not really understood by the police, so they don't realize that he's actually a good guy. So he goes after fighting crime. He goes back to his girlfriend, and he's a scientist too. So he's always working on ways to improve and to fight crime. But at the same time, she's like, "Hey, we should be married by now." But he is, so busy fighting crime that he kind of neglects his girlfriend. And then as he's just getting back from the adventure, his brother just happens to walk in. And he sees that he's putting on the costume. And he's like, "Hey, you're the Comet?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm the Comet." So basically, he says, "Hey, I'm going to go back to fighting crime. How about you take out my girlfriend out on the town?" So he's like, "Okay, I guess so." So he and the brother ends up taking the girl on the town for the next week, basically for the next few weeks, whining and dining her, which is kind of bad. So basically, he's giving his girlfriend to his brother. Meanwhile, the police, not the police, the criminals are like, they're like, so the Comet, his secret identity, I guess, his secret identity or his normal self, he's one of the witnesses that will potentially stop the mob or the racket or whatever it is. So they want to get rid of him. They want to get rid of all the witnesses. So what ends up happening is later on, the brother brings the girl back, and when he leaves, the mafia thinks that it's him that's the guy that is the informant and that is going to be testifying. So they go to get him, and the Comet sees that his brother is getting abducted, and he goes in to rescue his brother. Okay, so he actually has like this is the interesting thing. This is like many, many years before Cyclops, but he has actually the same powers as Cyclops. You'll notice he has like sort of the visor that he lifts up, and he actually can zap the, like sort of like a laser beam, and actually he punctures the tire of the criminals as they're trying to steal his brother. So there's a shootout, and in the process, Comet gets shot. Now the police end up coming, and there's like just a big shootout between the gangsters and the police. And the brother basically is like, "Oh man, you've been shot." He tries to get him out of there and take him back to the apartment where his brother basically dies. It's kind of brutal, but he says, you got to stick together and remember me. And so his brother decides to fight crime because, to honor the fact that the Comet had died. Okay. And he decides that he will be the hangman because he'll bring those murderers to justice. And so he gets like, he goes all sciencey mode, and he basically the criminals are now basically can get away because there's no witness. There's the one witness that they had, is gone now. But he basically kidnaps one of them, and he makes him go crazy by threatening his life. he does like this weird gallows thing where he makes them fear that he's gonna go to be killed. Okay, you'll see what I mean by he does this like gallows thing. And
just like a hologram.
Yeah, it's like a hologram, and basically the criminal basically is going to confess and reveal all the secrets about the gangsters. So that's good. But it's just like, it's just a hologram. You can see it happening here. Okay. And so the police are going to come and, get the confession. And the mobsters aren't too happy about that. But he does the same trick with them as well. Where he basically does this, he says, "You're not getting away. The gallows are for you," basically. And, again, the police, I don't know. They don't like superheroes in this story. They shoot at the hangman as well. Because they think that he's the bad guy, but he isn't. And in the end, because all the evidence came up against the gangster, it was the quickest trial in history. And basically, he gets the gallows. He actually gets hanged.
That's got to be one of the quickest executions in history as well. Holy.
Yeah. Well, they said basically, he was scheduled to be executed because he did kill a bunch of people. So that's usually not a good thing. And justice was served much quicker back then, I think. And basically there's like a little plea at the end. Like, if you like the hangman, tell us, and we'll make more hangman stories. So people must have liked the hangman because they made a whole bunch of stories about the hangman after this. And the cool thing about the hangman is, like, he literally gets the bad guys hung. So that's the story.
And he ends up with the girlfriend.
So that's the story. That was my kind of very raw summary of the story as well. So for me, I'll just go through my scores. Um, oh, we got some weird extra sounds coming in.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So for me, I really like the cover. I think it's a very cool cover. I'm going to give the cover a 4.5. I think it's a cool cover with the gallows and Hangman standing there and the other heroes from like Archie. That's the Shield. And Dusty. Whenever they did a lot of the comics back then, what they would do is they would sort of have like a collage of what's going to be inside the story, inside the book. So these are from separate stories, but I still think it's a cool cover. So I'm going to give the cover a 4.5. The interior art, I'm going to give it a 3. There's parts of it that I like. I think it's kind of cool that he does have the visor thing. But it's more functional than like brilliant. But I did think it was cool. I like the splash pages and stuff that they did for the different stories. And for the story itself, I actually really liked the story. I'm going to give it a 4. I thought it was, kind of interesting how this. The story was not about the Hangman at first, but it was about his brother, the Comet. And that was kind of a misdirection. You think it's going to be about, well, the fact that it's titled Hangman kind of makes you think, but it is interesting how they introduced this hero only for him to die. And that's the first time it's ever been done in comics. This is the very first time that that's been done. And, you kind of feel bad for him in a way because he really tried to save his brother, and his brother was only killed because of his that he was the witness. That the Comet was the witness, and if it wasn't for his own involvement, his brother wouldn't have. Well, he wouldn't have died, I guess, and his brother wouldn't have been kidnapped. So I think. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought the whole scene with the girlfriend was a little weird, but they did explain it. They did kind of say, she was like, I still, that she was interested in the Comet, not in the brother at first. So they did explain it, but it was kind of a little bit weird. But for me, I thought the story was really great. As I said, I give it a 4. And I give the overall book a 4 as well, because I think that's sort of a balance of all the scores. So, yeah, for me, it was a good story. I like these kind of Golden Age books where you get a bunch of cool stories, and they're very efficient about telling a pretty complicated story. That's one thing I really like about the Golden Age. In a way, there's a lot more reading, but it's more like it's over a fewer pages, if that makes sense. I don't know. So that's my review. I'll go with Matt next. I never pick Matt, so here I'll pick Matt from number 2.
Well, the most okay, as someone whose side interest in comic books is collecting the last appearances of people.
You got both with this one.
This book is like the ultimate because it's the first time a major character is killed in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But was this his first appearance as well?
Yeah, it was the Comet's first appearance too.
So literally the Comet lasted what, 4.5 pages, 5 pages?
Yeah, whatever. No, I think it's like 8 pages. Yeah.
The cool thing is they brought the Comet back in the Impact comics in the 1990s.
Oh,
the Comet actually had his own book, and so did the Hangman. Now, cover. I just think that's cool. The cover, I would give the cover a good 4. The cover is nice. It's a typical Golden Age. It's like, here I am and here I am. It's an anthology book. It's one of the things I like about anthology books. I always wish that DC would do more of that, where it would be like, instead of a single picture of the Spectre, say, and then Dr. Fate in the corner, It'd be cool if the Spectre, Dr. Fate, and Starman, whoever else was in that book, would have been on the cover to get too. But I digress. The interior art, to me, okay, that particular story, if I was doing the whole book, it would get a higher score. That particular story, the art turned me off a little bit. It just was, it was too, it almost looked like, you hear stories in the golden age of like the Ford assembly line type things about with comic books. I'm doing this page, now you do this part of the page, and then you do that, all that stuff. The point is, it almost looks like in this story, they didn't take the time to, it literally looks like it was just churned out, get it out, get it out, get it out. The line techniques for the inking were horrible. And like you see the woman's chin, for example, there were lines on there. It almost made her look like she had a beard. These kind of things, it just, I found, and like everybody was so square. It was almost like what it's like, almost like SpongeBob SquarePants square instead of a bit of a curve and all that stuff. It just wasn't the best. I'm going to give the interior art a 2. I did not like it at all for that story. For the writing, the story was basic because you had 2 characters being brought in, as you say, the first appearance of the Comet, right? So you had your typical trope. There's these mystery men who are stopping crime, but the police are too stupid to realize it. So you've got that
was the weird part of it, the whole thing. The police were like,
listen, DC. To give you an example, Batman and Superman were both seen as criminals when they first came out. Sergeant Casey,
the same way too.
Yeah, Sergeant Casey was trying to get Superman for the first almost 2 years of Action Comics. Never quite got him. And so, going back to that, you had the introduction of 2 characters. There's not exactly a lot of character development. For the Comet, you didn't need it. He died. The woman was literally just there to be there. Oh, there must be a girlfriend. So here you go. Dude, she absolutely contributed nothing to the story other than, oh, I love you, but you won't spend any time with me. Oh, my little brother will take you out. There you go. That was the only purpose she served in the book. And so you
there is the trope of like either the guy's going to retire and he gets killed, or he's about to get married and get killed. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what they were playing with a bit.
Yeah, they even did that trope with Sandman but it was the girl that was killed. Anyway, the way I'm seeing this right now, it's cool that he became the Hangman, but again, there's no real explanation. Oh, it's just, I'm making this costume and I have this little beam that brings the gallows. I was expecting the guys to, ask, could I get a letter T? Could I get a letter S? Anyway, it was good enough for the Golden Age to pass by. I'm going to give it a 3 for the writing. It's an okay story. And overall for the book, I'm going to give the book a 3. And I'm going to pick D next.
All right. I'll just get into my scores here. Cover, I'm going to give 3.5. If you look back at the history of my reviews, that means I thought it was a good cover. Not an amazing cover. I gave it points because the first appearance character is on the cover. I really value that a lot. So for all the Hangman fans out there, they don't have to argue about his first appearance, his first cover appearance. It's all right there in one book. The interior, what's that?
And origin too. So they're all in one.
Yeah. No, you got it all in one. So the interior art, I'm with Matt. It was very, a lot of faces got really weird looking, with no good reason. So the art, I'm going to give a 2. the story, I'll tell you one thing, and both you and Alan kind of said this was like kind of like mentioned it, but weren't super impressed by it. But I liked the part of the hologram with the gallows on it. I like they took a little bit of time to show that the guy that he captured was going nuts from being locked in solitary, basically.
Mhm.
He was just, he wasn't having a good time down there. And then all of a sudden he finally sees something, and he sees the gallows, and all he could think of is that he's about to get hung. So I thought that was pretty cool. But that didn't save the story for me. It kind of gets to a point where when I've read enough of these Golden Age origin stories, they're all kind of bleeding together a little bit. They had the hangman talking about how criminals are cowards, like felt very Batman like to me.
I thought that too, and I should have mentioned that. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. It was like it felt like this is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, this works in comic books, so let's put it in.
Yeah, the Matt, you hit the nail on the head with the girlfriend. That was a waste of ink. We didn't need that at all. And then there's a weird spot where right after he showed that first criminal the gallows and he was going to confess, you see the conversation he has. He's like, "Hello, police headquarters. Come down here. This guy's about to spill it." And then you hear the cop on the other end. He goes, "What? Hangman? Is this some kind of joke?" Like, he didn't even say his name when he called the cops. So that was some weird dialogue. And I had to I reread that a couple times. Like, what?
I didn't even notice
Like,
that. That's a good pick. Yeah.
yeah, no, check it out. Like, it's not, it didn't piss me off, but it made me reread it a few times. Like, wait, where did he say he's Hangman? He didn't.
Exactly. This
Well,
really
no,
seems
they had caller ID back then, so that's why.
Oh,
call right.
then,
You mean in the days where you had to go Pennsylvania 5,000 to order to make a phone call?
but yeah, no, so overall, I give the story a 2. I still enjoyed reading it. I'm glad we just read. Well, and here's the other thing is I read the first story of the book thinking that was going to lead to the Hangman, and that one was not bad either. But once again, the first story did not affect my grade at all. But yeah, overall, I'll give it a 2.5. Cover was cool. The interior art in the story just did not move the needle for me. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I don't even feel like I have like an option of who I would pick now. So we'll just run it over to Biggie.
Hopefully, is my audio sound bad?
No, your audio is better now.
Better. Okay, good. All right, let's get into this. So the cover, Pep 17. It's all right. I'm gonna give it a 2.5, man. Like,
I think it's a cool cover.
I mean, if you look at okay, let's break it down then. The green building in the back, what the fuck is that? The yellow building behind it, not too much. The big giant stars and stripes, where the hell is Shield?
Shield.
Okay, and then him just standing there with the shadow and the fucking. It's average. It's not like I can't give it a big score. I'm sorry. 2.5. The inside art, I thought you guys would say this, but it used a lot of box art over and over, right? Y'all noticed that, right?
It certainly seemed like they were taking very as many shortcuts as they could. That's why I said it has a very feel of being in the and I mean places like Fox Features and stuff did that.
If you look at this one right here, this box art with him by the woman, and then you look down here, it's the same. The same. There's about 6 times I noticed that. Let's see.
where they're just recycling art between the.
They're just mirroring it. Yeah, they mirrored a lot of images. This ain't a mirror, but that face is not good. Face is
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that
Um,
face was terrible. That was one of the ones that I hated the most, to be honest. with you.
See,
And
this
I didn't
face,
know if that was the Hangman or what, but yeah, no, you're right.
that
Like,
face is
look at
bad.
this. Look at that picture of the comet. Look at that picture there. His jaws down there looks like it's like a robot. It's just square. Like the new definition of a square jaw, because the head looks like a square.
Yeah, I gave it a
Um,
little higher score than average because of I do like functional art in a way. I like art that kind of tells the story. I felt like it told the story, so that was, why I gave it the score I gave it.
So inside art, I mean, the only thing I kind of appreciated, which was not the greatest, was that he actually hung somebody at the end. Well, it's okay. Inside art, there's a lot of plain stuff, like D brings up, like red in the back. Not a lot of like imagery besides
It's very
what's in the
basic,
forefront.
very simple.
Very basic. The whole comic's kind of that way. There's a little house there. That's nice. Window. So I'm gonna go 2.5. Actually, I should probably go 2 because the cover was better than the inside art. And story, I was more interested in Comet. Like, I think that I might have liked Comet more. The Hangman has a cooler name. I felt like the Comet had more to offer. So I'm kind of sad Comet died. It's a double key, which is cool. A triple key. Quadruple key if you
Mhm.
count Gold Age. So I don't know. I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 3 for story because it was functionable.
Mhm.
And overall 2.75. I've read Golden Age. It's way better than that. So that's why I'm not too over the hill with it. That's it. We can all discuss it now.
I actually thought the girlfriend worked personally. I thought it was, interesting because the big thing was the brother who becomes the Hangman. He's a bit of he doesn't seem very, focused. He seems almost like the playboy. He does say that he, finished his master's in university, but that's about it. He doesn't seem as focused, whereas the Comet was very dedicated to fighting crime. I thought that the girlfriend and the fact that he died really gave direction to the Hangman to become the next crime fighter. So I don't know. I thought it was cool.
I like to shout out the chat real quick. We don't do that enough. By the way, the score was a 47.75.
Yeah, I saw that 47.7.
What up, Ayer,
That can't be good.
Beckerman, Steppo, Rad? I got Steppo's shirt on. Thank you, Steppo. Killa Corgi, GT Key. Good to see y'all. So yeah, the book for me, like, I get tired of saying, "Oh, it was good for Golden Age." I've read Golden Age that I fucking love, and this is not that. This was okay. The odd faces bugged me a little bit, but just overall, it was just too. It felt like it was not thought out well to me. It was just done. It was just like, get it done, smash it. And it was probably the best story out of the whole book. Like, it had the best detail, but the rest of the book was even more like super plain and sloppy to me.
So it came in at 59.6%. It's 13th from the bottom.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, like, if the book was done overall, I would have given it a higher interior art score and a better story score, because two of the stories in there were actually really good. I really liked
Like what?
it just wasn't fun. It was
But
like,
that one story was not the greatest.
you want to show us something?
No, I would have rated the story higher if the Comet had already been an established hero that they suddenly killed off. I would have thought that would have been like meaningful, but like I get it, it's the first time a hero died in the comic book, but they literally just introduced him so he could die.
Mhm.
So I would have loved like maybe if you would have like while explaining it, you'd have been like, yeah, he was in Pep 14 and 12 and 9, you know, and I've been like, oh, this guy's been around, and now they just opt him. Like that to me would have been a little more exciting, but they introduced him and killed him right away.
Yeah, like
Fair
you know,
enough.
like for example, if they killed the ferret because the ferret had one other appearance.
I think that we'll get a good golden age soon, even if I got to pick it. Alan's been trying to get us what, and
I'm just
I've-
showing you different characters that I like. So I
yeah,
like
I've
the-
appreciated a lot of the golden
I
age.
have no problems with the book. In fact, I was excited to read it when you said it was the
Yeah, me
Hangman.
too.
I knew about it. I just never read it before. I knew about the comet dying and the Hangman.
Mhm.
Ellen, I will tell you though, there is something to be said. Like you don't need to pick a book that you think everyone is going to love. That does not matter.
No.
I still enjoyed reading it. I still liked the fact that like it took me like 15 minutes to read it, or if that.
Very quick movie.
It was a quick
Yeah.
read. Yeah, I enjoyed
It
that
was a
too.
quick read. I got to see the origin of a character that had some run. Just because I said like, oh, I didn't love the writing, doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy reading the book. You know, and I think sometimes like all of us, whenever we lay up a book that doesn't get a high grade, we all kind of feel bad about it. But like, I would be more upset if it was a book I hated or didn't love, and it took me an hour to read it because it was a 90-page anthology or something, you know? So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
so when I can get in and get out, and it didn't take any time out of my life. Like it took me longer to shovel my driveway when I got home today. So
I'm of the opinion that you know, even having to read an X-Force comic done by Gil Kane with Vince Colletta on inks is still better than, you know, 25 minutes of work.
What up, Brian? Beyond Wednesday, good to see you. So I guess Matt's the next option
Yeah.
in the voicing department.
Once-
What's up, Maya from Andy's? Good to see you. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Yep. Oh.
Hey, Chris Mongo, yeah.
Cool.
I pulled it out for something else and thought it would be a fun book to do for book club.
I wonder who did the cover on that.
I believe it was actually, I know that Dick Giordano did. Oh, sorry, it's Jim Starlin.
Just start-
Damn, fucking Starlet. I'm out of stud.
Jim
Hello.
Starlin did the book, did the interior as well. The
Oh
pencils.
man, we're in for a treat, man. Starling was
See, I
knockout.
just, like I said, I pulled it out for something else. So I actually had pulled done specifically here. I can get you the whole credits here.
Cool, man. All right. Well, so for me, tomorrow night we're going to do, or not, well, tomorrow evening we'll be doing Hot 5 Commandments. Me and TM Nerdy, weekly speculation, award-winning. Come check us out. And then Friday night we will be doing Collector Club. I think we're going to do a battle. It's been about a month.
Yeah, we haven't
We
done
had
a
a
battle,
battle.
for a while.
There needs some be some blood in the air. Yeah, let's figure something out. So
If you want blood, you need a real sharp paper cut on a comic.
then Mylars will get you.
The Mylars are just as bad, yeah.
Slice your white
Actually-
dude. Yeah.
My fingers have shown how with dry skin, these things are dangerous as hell.
Yeah. We'll rip it right open.
Yeah.
All right.
I
What do
was
you got going
looking
on?
through a bunch of Mylars and I sliced up my fingers one time. It's brutal.
What you got going on, Alan?
So me, I just did my Q&A today. I think it was okay. It was a good one. And Friday, I have to talk to Matt to figure out what exactly I'll be showing. And it'll be like the Friday challenge. And then On Sunday, I do my hot list. And then on Monday, I think, depending if a book arrives, Stephen might have some really cool stuff to show on the Monday special. But if it doesn't show up, we're going to do Pep. We're going to actually do Archie books.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like a bunch of fun. Let's shout out Benny Compton for gifting 5 members. That's my second 5-member gift today. So we're getting the NWO filled up. Thank you.
And he's also a member at my channel. It's really cool. He's really cool about it.
Benny Compton, stand up dude.
Don't forget, when you're NWO, you're NWO for life. Too sweet.
All right. You had a Robbie Joseph interview recently, as of yesterday.
I had Robbie Joseph yesterday. This Friday, I'll be on Alan's show, and I'll be hopefully on Biggie's show, not getting cut while we do a battle. Hopefully. And then there's no Sunday Superman show this week. But the next Tuesday, I have Archivist Adrift Jason coming on the channel.
Yeah, he should be on Club too. He's been a real good chum lately, so good to see Archivist making his rounds. D, you got anything you want to share with us? You got any new? Looks like you got a stack of fucking toys back there. What's going on with that? Is that all of them?
Yeah, you've seen them though.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not new in my world. My company got acquired today, so that was exciting news in my life. But
does that mean you're going to keep your job?
That means I will not know for probably about 18 to 24 months. So it takes a while for them to really start shaking things up. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully you're okay.
D knows that place inside and out. They can't fucking function without him. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it anyway.
Dude,
however, unfortunately, everybody's not.
Everybody around him's like, D, what do I do? What do I do? He'll be all right. I'm assuming, hopefully to God. Yeah, so I think I'll get my Legion box I won tomorrow because it's in town. I'll open that up. I already told y'all what I got going on. I want to thank everybody for hopping on, everybody that watched. Benny Compton for the 5 members, Maya for Mandy's, Brian, Stepper, GT, Becker, and Rad, everybody popping through. Catch y'all tomorrow around 3 o'clock. So, hello, Matt Likes Comics. I am D Runk. And hashtag enjoy. See y'all.
Big Biggie. Biggie.